Wolves are on the brink, hovering just above the drop zone. A proud club is staring into the abyss, but not on my watch. In FM24, I'm stepping in to rebuild this team over the next decade. That is right, 10 whole years, forging a new era from the ashes of near relegation. No board expectations, but I've set my own. We're going to aim to win the Premier League a minimum of 2 times, the Champions League a minimum of 2 times, and also pick up as many English Cups as we can. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if you like these longer rebuilds. Let's get into it. Right then, so this is going to be Wolves inside of Football Manager. Now, as we know, they are a great team in the Premier League. Now, this season has not been ideal. They most likely are going to be okay, because I believe they had 12 points over Ipswich a couple of days ago. Ipswich also did go on to lose the game against them, so I think they are going to be more than fine. But obviously, we've got higher expectations on this channel. Now, reputation-wise, training and youth are actually really good, both sitting at 4 stars, which we can't really complain about. The bank balance is somewhat okay. In terms of the actual finances, if you are playing back home, you would have a total budget of £26 million. Now, for us, we never sign people in that first window. So, despite having a pretty fair budget, I'm not going to be digging into that today. Now, the debts and loans, there is a little bit of debt to do. Obviously, transfer debt 38.7, net debt 53. So there is a fair bit of debt at the club. But the good thing about this team is, if we actually go to the club info, we go to the history right now, they have won a lot of things, okay? So they will pump money back into this club once they start getting a success again. This is a team that have won 3 Premier Leagues, 4 FA Cups, 4 Sky Bet Championships, 2 Carabao Cups, 2 Sky Bet League 1s, 4 English Community Shields, 1 Sky Bet League 2, 1 Bristol Street Motors Trophy, and 1 English 3rd Division North. They have won a lot of trophies, but you can see here, this was really the start of their decline, around the 2009 to 2011 era. Then it dropped all the way down in 2012-2013, and there's been this was a big sort of step up in their footballing history, but they're not quite at the level that I want them to be at. So that's where I'm going to come in and try and solve things. Now, the great thing about Wolves is it works with this tactic, the balanced machine, a real possession-heavy tactic that focuses on using 3 attacking midfield players, or actually 1 and Ganch to be exact, with 2 advanced forwards. Now, what this tactic is going to be great with is the fact that we can use Sariba, we can use Kuna, we can use Matencia, we can use some really good players, and obviously the star man is going to be this guy, Big Cunha. He is a fantastic player and will be very hard to keep at the club, but I will do everything I can in my power to keep him here for the entire 10 years, because genuinely he's one of my favourite players to watch in the Premier League. Now, he's not the only standout player, okay, because again, a serious player here, played with some pretty big teams. He is on the older side, age 31, and at the end of the day, maybe, just maybe, he's not going to work out for that long, but for a first couple of seasons, he will get game time and hopefully can redeem himself, and not redeem, or prove himself that he's still got it at the age of 31. Now, in terms of strikers, we've got a couple of mixed bag of strikers. We've got Hwang Hee-chan, obviously a player with quite blistering pace and maybe not as physical, but next to him we've got someone with Strand Larsen, who again lacks the pace a little bit, although actually has got 15, but a little bit more well-built and a little bit more, you know, strong, etc, etc. So I do feel like we've got a nice balance of strikers, and genuinely, looking at this team, that is the best way to describe it. We've got everything covered, every area covered. Midfielders, we've got good options. We've got João Gomez, we've got Andre, we've got Doyle, we've got some real good players. The back line's not half bad either. We've got Nori, again, a player whose value is way, I mean, probably more than what he's worth in my opinion, but saying that, he is a very good left back. Acceleration, pace, got the dribbling, got the tackling, got the crossing. He is a very good player, and he is only 22. He's just not always a player that you assume to be a really expensive wing-back. On the right-hand side, a player who has been pretty hot or cold for his former clubs is Semedo, a player that I really like. He is 29, so a bit on the older side, but still has that lightning pace, can still cross, and has got the tackling. So the wing-backs, especially the starting wing-backs, are absolutely amazing. Also, Jose Sarr, really good goalkeeper. Again, on the older side, but for a goalkeeper, probably another 4 years at minimum, so that's going to be pretty much sorted. The back line in terms of centre-backs, I think we can improve a little bit. I'm a big fan of Totti. I have signed him before. He's not exactly Premier League winning quality in my opinion, but he's a decent player for backup in the future. A legend in Craig Dawson. He is 33, and I think we'll just have 1 season under my management, let's put it that way. And even on the bench, you've got some pretty big players here. Some good players out on loan. Obviously, you've got Chiquinho, you've got Silva, who is really good in this game if you can get him firing, so I will give him a chance when he comes back. And just a real good team to build on, because all of these players can be improved one day, but for the first few seasons, I think we've got a team that will easily stay in the Premier League with this tactic, and I think going into it, we are predicted to finish 11th place, but I think we can go one up and potentially go inside the top 6 in our first season. I really, really do, because this tactic's great. We're not going to have too much pressure on these cups because I'm not really too fussed about them, and we've got a very, very good sort of front 5, if you so will. So let's get into the first season and see what we can do. But honestly, I think we can get European football in a flash. And that says a lot about the confidence levels with this tactic, because we actually improve on what I predicted. We are going to finish second. So our first season, a second place finish. Yes, a ton of points behind Man City. And it is actually a player that I didn't really mention. 2 players I didn't talk about too much that are going to be the real key performers. The first one is going to be Sasa. Now, this guy has really, really got no pace, okay? He's not a pacey player, but he is strong, he can finish, and he might actually be a big player to have in this front two, because you can have a pacey player, then more of a brute, bit of a hold-up player, and he returns 18 goals and 5 assists, so he does a great job, as does Marshall, who again is playing in that Enganche role, a player who, to be honest, I've not really known too much about. He is 27 years of age, so not exactly a youngster, but he also enjoys a great season with 19 goal contributions, so the team is playing really, really well, despite picking up a couple of bookends in Andre with 13 and 8 Nori with 12. In terms of the other cups, it wasn't fantastic. A decent run in the Carabao Cup, where we do get beat quite badly, 4-2 against Liverpool. And in terms of the FA Cup, it's not ideal because we do lose to Norwich in quite embarrassing fashion. Conceding 3 goals against them is not acceptable. But when you've taken a team that obviously were predicted 11th by the game, I predicted them about 6th. They finished 2nd. We have definitely overachieved my expectation, and that comes down to a mixture of things, to be honest. If we go and actually look at these players right now, this man I didn't even talk about. I'll bring him up again. Sasa has played such a big role. 22 and 7 across all competitions. Larson, the Loney, 13 and 6. Sariba, 9 and 8. 11 and 13, Cunha 19 and 11, the wingbacks even chipping in. The bench also played a big part in this, by the way, some of them out on loan. So this man here, Fabio Silva, enjoyed 12 and 4 across all competitions at Las Palmas. He enjoyed a great time, which is very handy because we can get him back in. The same can be said for this man, but because we don't play wingers, I probably will decide to cash him in after a decent season at Mallorca right there. Other than that, some players that we can shout out on the bench would be Tommy Doyle, a decent return. Bellegrade, that's how you say that, coming in, or Bellegarde, not Bellegrade. Bellegarde coming in there, 6 and 5, 2 and 3 for Doherty. João Gomez, 2 and 4. There are some pretty decent returns, even for the bench players. And I imagine the money will look quite good. £62 million, and in terms of the debts and loans, we definitely haven't made too much progress on them, so we can't afford to go crazy and spend 900 million, but because we are now in the Champions League, I am going to spend the money because we've earned it. If I don't improve, we stand no chance. I've gone very bold because there wasn't too many players that were, let's just say, right to my eye. Players that I didn't really want, but this is a player that I did want, and it's the only signing of the window, and that is Samu. £50 million, 23 goals, 2 assists, 3 player of the matches, a 7.3. Samu is honestly like an ox. He is strong, he is quick, he's got everything about him. He's 21 years of age. We have got a striker here who could play for another 12 to 13 years, and he will be in the team this entire rebuild if I have anything to say about it, because he is such a good player. And it was the only signing we made because he cost me, as I said, 55 after the add-ons, because the team that I've just played with has got me in the top 4, got me in 2nd place in the Premier League. I don't think we're going to fall that far away in the Premier League. Maybe this is a gamble to go into the UCL because I could have done with a few more players, but it's Samu. It's one chance to get him. I'm going to take it. And we actually had quite a good run in the FA Cup, as you can see here in the quarterfinals, beating Man City 1-0, going to the semi-finals and beating Sheffield 5-3, and then we get all the way to the finals and lose on penalties against Brentford, which is quite annoying because I feel like that's a trophy we definitely should have won. Carabao Cup, I'm not going to be too annoyed because it is against Man City, who do look quite strong at the moment, and the game was particularly quite close, so not too annoyed with that one. As for the Champions League, our first season in there, we do just about get out of the actual qualifying, go automatically through. We are going to beat teams such as Inter Milan 4-1, Club Brugge 5-1, Galatasaray 3-0, PSV 2-0 and Valencia 5-1. We draw 2 games there against Leverkusen and Benfica and lose against Madrid, which is more than fair enough, which of course means we do go into the round of 16 where we beat PSG 4-2, which sets up some statement, but unfortunately we then fall to Tottenham, the team that I thought potentially we could be beating after beating a team like PSG. Tottenham come out and prove that they can actually be quite good in Europe, but the Premier League, we have dropped a place, and in hindsight, maybe signing one big player wasn't the best move, but it's Samu. I wanted to bring him in, and we've only dropped 1 place, and the title race is decided by, well, there's 2 teams on the same points, decided by 3 goal difference. We are 1 point behind the top challengers, and we would have lost it on goal difference anyway, but the league is now so close. And when you look at the players we have got now, we have got Cunha and Samu, both in the goal scoring ranks, 49 goals in the Premier League between those players. Cunha, the best average rating, Saliba, the most assists, Cunha, second most. We are playing some really, really good football, and the addition of Samu is a big part of our success. He will go and score goals, and alongside of this man Cunha, who's scoring and also assisting, that is remarkable. That is absolutely crazy. 39 goal contributions. He is going to be a tough man to keep at the club, and money-wise, we're fair to go again. We have got 66 million, a very similar budget. The debts and loans, that has come down by about 30 million. That has also come down by quite a fair bit. So we are dealing with the financial issues as well. And when we actually go and look at this team on paper, this team is already gelling very nicely. Look at how wonderful, whatever you call this is, it looks like some sort of Illuminati triangle. You've got Cunha, you've got Mentensi, you've got Saliba, you've got is it Sasu? Sasa, I always butcher that, and now Samu. We've got 2 very strong players up front, array of players that can assist them and also score. Great wing-backs, again, 8 Nori, 1 and 13, so even scoring a goal, 13 assists. Cunha 38 and 22, 9 and 9 coming in there from the Enganche, 11 and 24 for Saliba, Samu 43 and 6, and also 17 from the other striker as well. Now, on the bench, this man here, that is going to be Bella Garde. This guy is not been given the credit by me, and I tell you what, it's not exactly electric stats, but 8 goal contributions in 32 games. He is doing his thing as a backup player, and that's all that I can ask him to do. The other players, for example, Hwang Hee-chan, he's not getting too much game time, but actually he is. 13 and 22 games is enough game time to be scoring a goal. I don't think he's going to be staying around too much, which is a little bit disappointing. Fabio Silva, how well has he done? He played 2 games, so I can't really judge him off that. It's a little touch unfair, but I mean, our backup strikers aren't exactly electric, so maybe that is where we look to spend the money. But I do feel before we do spend money on more strikers, we need to pay attention to this, because we are very good at scoring and not as good when it comes to the defensive side. So I look at the team on paper, we've got a very good goalkeeper, and maybe the centre backs need improving. Let's get into the next window. Right then, we are now going to go and spend a little bit of money. He's really starting to strengthen this team right now, and the first one is going to be another left back. Now, you might think I'm crazy because 8 Nori is obviously doing a great job, but I'm a firm believer if we're going to try and push for every single trophy, we need a minimum of 2 really good players in each position, and the first one is going to be Tom Roth, coming in from Union Berlin for 33 million. He instantly becomes the first left back, 7 assists, and also drops a 6.98 average rating. And this player offers quite a fair bit, okay, because not only can he come in and he's instantly adapted to the Premier League, he is still very young, he's not on that much money per week at the moment, which does help our books quite a fair bit. He's got a bit of pace, a bit of stamina. The crossing's the real attraction now, because we are playing a very narrow system and the wing-backs are very important in getting this to work. Therefore, we need someone with really strong crossing. And when I saw this kid come available, I've got to get him in the team. And to strengthen up that back line, we are going to welcome in Jakub Kiwior, coming in from FC Bayern, former Arsenal man as well. We do pay £29 million, but this is more like it. A strong Premier League centre-back, dropping above a 7 average rating, also a goal and a couple of assists in there. And this is a player that will really, really strengthen up the back line. He's got great acceleration, great jumping, great pace, great anticipation, good tackling on the lad as well. And he is on a fair bit more money than the left-back we just signed, almost double. But you pay for what you get at the end of the day. We've got a player here that has played in the Premier League before, played for a German super team. He is a very good player in this team, and that does finalise a £63 million window. There's a couple of players here to go out on the free. No players that are really worth mentioning, to be honest. No real big impact. So far, we've got a world-class striker coming in. We've got a very good left-back and a very good centre-back. I think this is going pretty well so far, but the results are going to tell the story. And I mean, the Carabao Cup final is going to be a statement, isn't it? Because we are going to be in it, and we are going to be playing against Newcastle, who have signed some pretty good players, Gary being one of them, and Kiergaard being the other. And I tell you what, they get a very scrappy start to go 1-0 up in this game. But we're not going to give up. We are going to have a great ball in here and an even better header, nearly from Kiwior, but it gets deflected back out into Saliba, back into Bueno, a ball back stick, and it is going to be the big man in the box, making it 1-1 just before half time. And we actually go on to win this with a deciding penalty from Cunha in the 49th minute. That is right, we are going to be I was going to say FA Cup, your Carabao Cup winners. Now, although it is only some say the energy drink trophy, that is a big start to this rebuild because it's our first real bit of silverware. The FA Cup we can't quite get to terms with just yet, as we do fall to Everton in the quarter-finals, which I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with. As for the Champions League, we are going to bail out in the round of 16. Now, something that is very interesting is not that we got knocked off in the round of 16, is that when it comes to the qualifying, we actually are flawless. 6 wins, 2 draws, 6-0 against Chelsea, beating AC Milan 4-1 there. PSG, Celtic, Frankfurt, drawing against 2 teams that we probably should be beating. But when it comes to actually the knockout stages, we do struggle quite badly, as you can see, quite the early exit. But the Premier League has also taken a bit of a hit because for the first time since we've started, we are not going to be in the top 4, meaning we are going to be playing in the Europa League next year, which is a bit annoying, although it does give us quite a good chance of getting a European trophy, because I think with this team on paper, we should run that entire tournament. Now, when it comes to how close we were literally a point off getting in the top 4, and we did lose to City twice in the league, so that is what you pay. You don't beat teams around you, you get punished. But it is nice to see that Samu is still doing his thing, also Cunha's still doing his thing there. Clean sheet wise, we are nowhere near even in the talk, so I would imagine, there you go, significant improvements needed in that backline once again, because goal scoring wise, we're completely sound, but defensively, there is a lot of work to be done, and that is completely fine, because it makes it quite easy to know where to put the money, and the money we've got is 87 million, with the debts and loans being still not quite under control, but I've still got to spend to try and improve this team, and it has now become very obvious where this money needs to be spent, and it is obvious when you look at it on the tactics screen. That back line, especially central area, maybe this man here needs to be replaced. The goalkeeper maybe needs to be replaced. We need to improve that back line. We are playing quite an out there tactic, so it also could come down to the DM. We might need to bring in a world-class DM that can hack playing that entire role by himself. He's got a ton of ground to cover. I personally thought between Andre and João Gomez that would be completely fine, but maybe that is a tall order because they have to do quite a fair bit of work. So let's get into the next window and see what we can do. But for now, the main focus is another centre-back, then potentially goalkeeper or DM, I think. Unless we get some miracle player come up that completely shifts my brain, like Samu, they're the plans. Right then, our first free signing of the video is going to be Gabri Veiga. Coming in from the Saudi League, he cost me literally nothing, and he has given me 14 goals and 14 assists, dropping a 7.45. Now, that is a player that will probably top the charts in the Premier League, and considering I'm only paying his wages, we've got a player worth close to 80 million. That is incredible business, and what a player he is. And to strengthen that midfield even more, we are going to go and pick up another world-class player on the free, where he plays 38 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, drops a decent average rating. And I tell you what, we have now improved our entire midfield without spending a single penny. Welcome in Ilic, a player that, of course, has spent a ton of time over in Italy and always does a nice, consistent job. I can't believe that pair has cost me literally nothing. Make sure you check the free agents, people. Back, another decision, and I tell you what, this is more of a versatile signing. He wasn't meant to come in and be right in at left back, for example, but he was there to be sort of a competitor for left back and right back. Aaron Hickey, when he's available, I will get him. 55 million. He's played one of the roles almost every game and contributed with quite a fair amount. 16 goal contributions, a 7.38 average rating, and he is just a very, very well-rounded, versatile, young, experienced player. He's got so much going for him, and it's a big price tag, I'm aware of that, but it's what you have to pay for someone like him. Now, because he wasn't brought in to be a starting player, especially a starting right back, I also went and spent 34 million on Gusto. Now, this is a player who, again, gets a little bit of banter in real life, right? But in the game, he's really, really good. He is quick, he has got the crossing, he's got the tackling, and he comes in and almost plays every game. 8 goal contributions is pretty decent, and the wing-backs I've got in the team now, I am very, very proud of. We have got some really good wing-backs, 2 great additions here, a great attacking midfield addition, and an incredible DM. Of course, some players here going out on the loan. Every single player you see here, including Chiquinho, has been transfer listed and loan listed, and when I go on holiday, I tick the box to sell them. Nobody wants them, so I'd rather them go out on loan. They pay some of their wage. It's better for us, better for the player, and hopefully it's a step closer to them leaving the club. So let's get into the next season with some pretty big improvements and see what we can do. The chance to win the other English Cup final is going to be against Nottingham Forest, and it is going to be none other than Samu finding Gabri Veiga in the middle. A great run and a great ball, and it is going to be Sasa who is going to make it 1-0 inside of 68 minutes. And we go on to actually win this cup final very comfortably in the end. 95 minutes played, Gabri Veiga on the ball, plenty of space over the top, into Rofe, in the middle, into Cunha. It's simply lovely. Premier League is also going to be Wolves now. It just goes to show a couple of transfers can make all the difference. Literally all the difference can be made. And obviously we brought in 4 starting players. So a very big statement made from me in that transfer window, as we are going to see Gabri Veiga and Hickey, 2 of our new players, getting the assists in the top 4. Samu is going to be your top goal scorer, outscoring Haaland. Cunha going to be 3rd place. That is incredible in the average rating, as also we do have 4 players in that category as well. And you know what? That tastes sweet. What tastes sweeter is another Carabao Cup win. 1-0 over Arsenal. Now, I will say, we did get a bit of an easier run to the final. As you can see, we played Watford, where we could have played either Newcastle or, of course, Arsenal there. The quarter-finals, we go on and play Brighton, which I will say, again, we could have got Liverpool, something like that, so it's a bit of an easier run, but I'm not here to complain. That is an English treble winning season. That is a remarkable season to have. Now, of course, we're not even halfway through the rebuild yet, and I still want to win this Champions League, which, as you can see, the round of 16, a 4-2 loss happened, so that is still a big, big task, and now it's about racking up as many as we can, but that is a big statement to the whole of England, exactly what we're here to do. That is a great season. Money wise, we're now going to be blessed. We've got a total of £124 million, which is a ridiculous budget. The debts and loans are still there, but if we keep this run of form up, they're going to be wiped out in a couple of seasons, because we're bringing so much money back in. And a big part of this success is this formation. It's not even the meta formation. You can see this right now. We're not maxed out on the tempo. We're on dribble less. We're not on a real meta tactic. This just plays so well with this team, because you can have Cunha, you can have Veiga, both in the same team. You can have really, really good players. This partnership up here, 37 and 13 from Samu and 24 and 10 from the other striker. I mean, genuinely a really, really good season. And even on the bench, we can't forget this man. 15 goal contributions, a player that doesn't really get all of the hype and the talk, but he is chipping in. Rofe at left back, 1 and 8 as well. Hwang Hee-chan, 6 goals or 6 goal contributions. Everyone's chipping in and doing their bit, which is really nice to see. And Aaron Hickey, who was brought in to be more of a competitor to be left back or right back, has said, you know what? I'm not waiting to get in the team. He jumps in the team and gets 17 assists. Ilic enjoys a great season, as does Veiga. The only man that really is up for replacement now is this man, and I don't like to say that because he has been quite an okay sortish player, but you look at this and you compare him to the players around him, he's sort of, you know, not on the same level in terms of quality, so maybe that is where we go and spend. In terms of the actual stats, apparently we still need to improve the backline, so I will listen to the game. You can't argue against numbers, right? You can never argue against numbers, so we are going to go and spend some more money on the backline, but this time it has to be on centre-backs, I feel. It has to be on centre-backs, so let's go and see what we can do, and hopefully improve that defensive record just a little. Right then, so a couple of players going out on the free. The first one is going to be Sam Johnston. He's going to be getting a move to the Saudi League. He didn't play too many games for us, but do you know what? He had a great stint in England his entire career. Now, he's going to go get some sun in Saudi. Another player that is finally going to leave is going to be Chiquinho, a player that is really good, just doesn't fit in this system. He goes to Blackburn on loan, then joins on the free. Well, he does have a pretty decent, does he? He doesn't really have a good season. He's just not right for us. Who is right for us is Jamal Musiala. Now, if we wouldn't have won the treble last season, he never would have joined, and we have spent a lot of money getting him in. Now, I will say he was a lot cheaper than what he potentially can be, and it does help that he went to Man City because it unsettles him a little. We paid £58 million, got 18 goals out of him, 6 assists, and above a 7 match rating, a 7.5 to be exact. He is one of the best midfield players in the game, and we have now got a potential to play Cunha, Musiala, and also Vega. That might be the best front three in terms of attacking midfield players you will ever see in a rebuild. A really big statement, but big statements cost you big wages. Again, I'm planning for the future by signing Mamardashvili, of course a player that has gone to Liverpool in this game. He now joins us for 20.5 million, instantly jumps in the net and keeps 11 clean sheets out of 35 games. Now, I will say, I know the aim of this transfer window was to sign centre-backs, but there was none really on the market, and when you've got a certain Jamal Musiala saying, hey Josh, I'm available for a transfer, you sort of turn your head a little bit and go for players like that. So yeah, the centre-back's been put on hold, but we have got Musiala, so yeah, hopefully you appreciate that. But I mean, in terms of our outgoings, a lot of them are loanies, players who I simply can't sell. I'd rather them go out on loan, so at least they, as I keep saying, they pay the wages, they can potentially go for free at the end. These players will never get a look in the team. I'd rather not rot their careers away and just let them go. Right into the Premier League then, where we are not going to go back-to-back. We lose by 2 points. Tottenham Hotspur are just going to clench it. And I tell you what, Jamal Musiala did make a statement in the league. The 4th top goal scorer, Cunha the 3rd top goal scorer. But Tottenham Hotspur are cooking something. They've still got Ange in charge, and their team is looking like this. They've got Lookman in there now. Who else have they got that's new? No one else is new in the 11. Apart from Lookman, which is a great signing. Also got Schlager in there as well. They've got some pretty good players right now. I mean, fair play to them. They have improved the team, and they are going to be your Premier League champions. So we can't really argue that they've... Ange is doing a great job. But we can get revenge here in the Community Shield as we do match up against Ange as we go 1-0 up from a very unorthodox camera angle right there. It was a great free kick, believe me, from Cunha to go 1-0 up, as now it is going to be Samu playing it in to Jamal Musiala, going alone, and that is what you spend the money on. A great bit of play to go 2-0 up inside of 50 minutes. Of course, not a massive trophy, but a trophy is a trophy at the end of the day. But Tottenham, that space that they got there is unacceptable. It is one of the easiest balls in they could have ever played, and it worked. They get a goal back, but luckily for us, we have got some real attacking quality now. Hickey down the left-hand side, plenty of space, still going, ball in, little dummy. Samu is going to make it 3-1, and at this point, the game was pretty much set. Game, set, match. We've got the trophy. Until this happened. Now, it only ended up being a consolation goal, but once again, the marking on that right-hand side was not good enough. We got lucky today. Champions League, we got so close to ticking it off, but unfortunately, Madrid on the day do go on to beat us 3-0. It's a very big ask to beat them, but it's a real big statement to get to that final, especially when you are, again, beating Tottenham that we did struggle against in the previous season. The quarterfinals will beat Benfica. In fact, I'm not gonna lie to you, we actually had a semi-easy run to the final. If you look at the teams around that we could have played in the quarters, PSG, Bayern, Liverpool, Madrid, you you know, we could have played some bigger and better teams, but at the end of the day, you can only play who's in front of you, and that's exactly what we done. In terms of the rest of the stuff, yeah, a third round exit against Cardiff, that's not going to be talked about, and a semi-final exit against Leicester. I mean, both of these are really, really poor. Considering we won both of these last year, that's a real big fall-off in both of them. And also, of course, we don't win the Premier League this year. The only thing we do win is that Community Shield. And maybe this is a little bit of a punishment for me for not signing more centre-backs quickly. But now I don't think I've got a choice but to do that, because I've got Musiala, I've got ridiculous players here. If we actually drop in Vega as well, this is our 3 attacking midfield players. Cunha, Vega, Musiala. We have got Cunha 37 and 29. We have got Samu with 25 and 16. We've got Sasu there with 24 and 10. We've got 16 and 9 from Vega. Musiala, just a 39 goal contributions, nothing too special. Ilic 5 and 17. We've got 6 and 14 from Hickey. We've got 4 and 12 from Gusto. And the bench is absolutely, it's looking lively. It's looking very lively. And that is something that I've noticed throughout this whole rebuild. The bench players, you're not going to have, you know, 5 strikers getting 20 goals each, but even the odd 4 goals here, 5 goals there, the extra performance from the backup DMs, we're building a really strong team. And if you actually look for a second, we've got cover in every position. Goalkeeper, Mamardashvili, you've got Jose Sarr. Gusto, you've also got Doherty, you've got Gomez, you've also got the likes of Hickey who can play there as well. Left back, you've got Hickey, you've got Rofe, you've got Nori. Centre backs, you've got Kiwar, you've got Bueno, you've got Totti, you've got other players who definitely need to be improved. So centre back is the area that we haven't really got great depth in. DM, you've got Ilic, you've got Andre, you've got João Gomez, you've got Doyle. We are going to have to offload a couple of those because that's way too many options. AMs, you've got Cunha, Vega, Musiala, you've got Mentensi, you've got Gomez, you've got Bellegarde, you've got some real good players. And even the strikers, we've got decent backups. So we have built a really well-rounded team. But obviously, it can always improve, you can always get better. And now I have to bring in more centre-backs. If I don't, correct me in the comments because I'm making the wrong decisions. But in terms of the money, we have got a total budget of 122 million, so serious money to spend. The debts and loans are now on their way down, so we can go and spend more money, but it's become very obvious, as I keep saying, we need to bring in more centre-backs. So then his time as a Wolverhampton player is going to come up. It is going to be Jose Sarr. He is going to get a free move there to the Saudi League. He's a goalkeeper that come in for 6.7 million, has been absolutely one of the most impactful players in this team in terms of being that real brick wall at the back. And I tell you what, he's done a lot for this club, but unfortunately, he's getting older. Mamardashvili's come in, a younger goalkeeper, playing better. It makes clear sense. As we are going to welcome in another striker to really boost that, you know, forward line. Don't worry, we have signed a centre-back as well, but the first player is Evan Ferguson. 51 million, 35 appearances, so I imagine he is slotted in alongside of Big Samu. That is a lethal front line. 10 goals, 6 assists, a 7.10 average rating, and just a player that reminds me of Samu, maybe not quite as good, actually classified as a Sky Bet Championship player. I think that's pretty harsh. And to finish it off this window, get ready. We have signed Zabrani for 40 million, a leading Premier League player who cost me a total, as you can see, of 40 million, dropped a great average rating, and just look at the guy. Mentally, he is world class. You've got the physical stats, he's got the pace, the stamina, the jumping, the fitness, the headings there, the markings there, the tacklings there, even the passings there. He is one of the more complete centre-backs you can get at this stage of the game, and that signing alone at the back, I'm expecting to see big improvements because we now have got a couple of really good centre-backs. And it obviously played a part because we are right back to winning the Premier League. Only by 1 point, Tottenham remain very consistent, I will be saying that. But once again, Cunha and Samu. It's the Cunha and Samu show. Cunha, Ilic and Hickey are in the assists. Cunha, Hickey and Samu in the average rating. These names keep popping up. They are the real core players in this team. And don't get me wrong, the league is ridiculously close, but a league win is a league win. That's 2 now. The Carabao Cup, a lot better, as we are going to get into the semi-finals again, but unfortunately lose against Tottenham Hotspur. But compared to last season, we're somewhat back on track in this as well. The FA Cup, we're more than on track, we've won it again, so a big recovery in this competition as well. Winning it on penalties is a little bit scrapey, but we are playing Newcastle, who are a very good team. The teams we beat to get there was Man City, decided in extra time. It was not an easy path here, apart from this game here against Southampton, but we sort of got very, not lucky, but really last ditch in the semis, and you can't get really much more last ditch than pens, can you? So I won't say lucky, but let's say the word fortunate. The Champions League, we breeze through the league phase, and we actually breeze through most of the competition. The round of 16, we actually face Everton, which is a real blessing in disguise. A 2-0 win there. The quarterfinals, we are going to play AC Milan and beat them 7-2. So yeah, they are really struggling right there. And into the semis, we've earned ourselves our first Champions League final, I believe, as we're going to face Real Madrid. Ancelotti doesn't lose. Or maybe he might, as we are going to get off to a great start here, and it is going to be none other than Gusto down the right-hand side into Samu, who's going to cut it back into Musiala, and these are the players I signed for these occasions, because they can turn up on the bigger stage. A great start there, as we are already in the second half now. A great ball comes in, and we are going to lead 2-0. I did make the decision to play this big man up front, because he can unsettle a lot of teams, and he did play he made quite the impact in this cup final. Gusto into Musiala, inside, as we are going to go currently to lead this game 3-0 in the 64th minute. And it doesn't end there. Madrid really did not turn up to this final. Gusto down the right hand side taking on his man, and look who it is again. This man is a player who not many people would dare to start in a Champions League final, but I know his physical. He is such a physical player. He's a nightmare to mark, and we go on to win, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the Champions League final 5-0. A 5-0 win against one of the best Champions League teams in literal football history. So we have made a big statement here by winning the Premier League, the Champions League and the FA Cup. We nearly done the quadruple if we could get into that final. I think we could have got it done. Who would we have played again in the final? We would have been playing Bournemouth, so I think we could have got the job done, which is a little bit unfortunate, but let's not be negative. We just won the treble, you know? Let's not be negative. A great footballing season, and because of that, we're going to have money. We're going to have £129 million to spend, and it just goes to show that looking at these transfers, bringing in your Zabranis, your Fergusons, that did make the real difference. And 92 million is an expensive window, but we didn't spend our total budget. We saved money. We let a player go, and we still got the job done. And this team, mainly the top half of the team, I think might be one of my funnest projects I've done. Genuinely, we've got players like this man. This guy here is so unorthodox. No one probably thought I was even going to use him, right? Sasa has been such a key player in this team. A hat-trick in the Champions League final, just to say that. A serious player. Of course, you can look at them the likes of Samu with 35, Cunha 34 and 28, Musiala 20 and 20, Vega 11 and 11. You've got Ilic 5 and 24. We've got 28 assists from the right back and left back combined. 9 goals from the centre backs. I mean, the team is gelling so well in a tactic that is really not meta, guys. The tactic is not meta at all. It's a very balanced tiki-taka tactic, which shouldn't really score this amount of goals, but just when you've got this front three and these two bagsmen up front, it's getting the job done well. And defensively, we've improved significantly. I think we were 9th best last season. We are now 3rd best, and if we want to, we've got money to reinvest into another centre-back, which we might go on to do, but as seasons go, that is as good as you're going to get. So hopefully you are enjoying so far. Let's push to try and win the quadruple. I think we can do this. Player that never really got flying, did he? It is going to be Hwang Hee-chan. He is going to be going to the Saudi League on the free. He's been getting the game times, but not really delivering too much. And just for the fact of getting some wage back into the club and letting him carry on his career, it was a great deal for the both of us. £63 million, an unexpected expense, but when Restes is available on the market, he is going to become our leading goalkeeper. Now, this guy is so well balanced. I mean, look at how good he is. So many attributes in the yellow. He's still only 25. His only weakness, he's not played for a top club, but he comes in for us and keeps 15 clean sheets, plays every game and drops a great average rating. And we've now got Restes and Mamardashvili. That is incredible goalkeeping options. Add a little bit of spice to the AM slots as well. Another attacker midfield player, Noah Darvic, is going to come in. Now, he cost me £69 million, 15 goals, 8 assists, and drops a 7.3 average rating. So he has come in and got in that team somewhere, and he has done a great job. Our attacker midfield options are absolutely ridiculous. You have got Vega, Musiala, you've got Cunha, you've got Darvic. You have got 4 of the best you can simply get, and this guy is still only 23. Where does it stop? And our first new gen, it is going to be a right back coming in. That is going to be Kakoo, coming in from Newcastle for a total of £34.5 million. 1 goal, 5 assists, drops a 7 average rating, 34 appearances, and he is brought in because there's a couple of right backs at the club that, let's say, aren't exactly settled with their current contracts, and I'm simply preparing for the future. And for that price tag of 34 million, he's now worth over double that, so also a thumbs up from the business side. Of course, now we get a chance to win the Super Cup, which didn't start that well against United. It's a little bit lucky there, but Rodgers is going to get it back for Manchester United. It's a great ball back in, and Gyökeres, very unlucky, but Ahmad gets the rebound and makes it 1-0 inside of 20 minutes. We are going to be fortunate, though, and push this game to extra time with Andre in the middle, into Darvic, the new man, over the top, into Musiala, and that is the link-up I want to be seeing. A great goal from them pushes it all the way to extra time, where we just about go on to win this game from a Zabrani header. What a ball in. You're also going to be your Community Shield winners, which I believe is now going to be not back-to-back, but 2 inside of 3 years. That's not half bad. The Champions League, we've won the Champions League again. That is going to be back-to-back Champions League wins, and I mean, that just shows how good of a team we are building right now. This time against Inter Milan, we get past teams like Juventus in the semis, the quarters 6-2 over United, the round of 16 we're going to beat Liverpool, and as for the league phase, we go invincible. That is back-to-back Champions League. This team is something. The FA Cup, we're also going to claim that 4-2. I mean, honestly, what haven't we won? What we didn't win is the Premier League. We didn't win the Premier League. Man City get back to being reigning supreme. You know, have they still got Pep in there? They have got no manager, but they've just won the league. That is very critical in my opinion, but hey-ho, maybe they weren't happy with the Champions League. I'm not too sure, but they are going to win. That's classic. That is really harsh, that is. Samu is still going to be in the rankings, though. Restes, the first time a goalkeeper of ours is even in that clean sheet tally. Cunha, the most assists, but I can't really complain because we have won everything else, so we can't be too selfish. And to win our 5th trophy of this season, we are going to face against Leicester in the Carabao Cup final. Now, a bit of an easier game, I will be honest, when you look at opposition, as Samu makes it 1-0 inside of 21 minutes, but this game was as dead as they get, because Leicester get this penalty, which they do convert, in the 33rd minute, and now the game gets pushed all the way to extra time. We're talking 93 minutes on the clock. Samu down the right-hand side, cutting it back into Gusto. Plenty of time, great ball into Rove, touch inside, and that is why the wing-backs are so important, because they are sometimes desired and required to finish chances like that. Rove down the left, into Darvic, back into Rove, into Andre. Plenty of time, back in. That could have been a penalty, actually, but we'll take the goal instead, as Vega is going to make it 3-1, and to wrap up this final 4-1 and claim our 5th trophy, it is going to be the big man up front. That is right, we have won 5 trophies in this season: the Champions League, the Super Cup, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield. We have won pretty much everything apart from that Premier League title, which would have finalised a perfect season. Now, of course, whatever happens, this is a rebuild over a decade, so even if we did win everything, we are going to carry on for an entire decade to see how far we can actually push the limits, push the tempo, and see how many trophies we can actually win. That is simply all that matters. Now, this team on paper genuinely is doing things that I never thought I would see. The reason why it's doing so well is because we have got 5 players that are also getting tons of goals but tons of assists, and that rarely happens in a tactic. But when you group these players together and you look at them front 3 and the 2 strikers, that is why it happens. Now, I will say we've had a lot of players leave, contracts expiring, etc, etc, so we are now going through quite a challenging time as a club, because we've got to bring in quite a fair new faces. But you look at the players on the bench, even Gabri Vega 10 and 5, Ferguson 16 and 11, you've got Kakao 2 and 9, 3 and 17 from Rofe at left back, 4 and 7 from Intensi. I mean, we have got some really big players, but when we filter by the best 11, this is now going to be your best 11. Restes, Gusto, Zabrani, Kiwor, Hickey, Ilic, Musiala, Cunha, Darvic, Samu, and of course, this hero, who unfortunately I think his time will come up very shortly as he is slowly going on the decline, but he's still bagging in goals, and it's gonna break me to get rid of him. But going into the next season, we have got a total budget of a little bit less, which is fair enough. We've got a budget of £73 million to spend. The debts and loans are very, very up there now, so maybe a couple of quiet windows is what we need now as a club. But in terms of trophies, you can't argue with what you're seeing. We are now a 5 out of 5 star club, and look at that. Look at that. The amount of trophies in this cabinet, we need to get another one on the order, because I'm telling you now, there's more to come. Right, it is not a nice decision to make, but unfortunately, it is going to be the end for Sasa. Now, this is not a regretful, or is a regretful goodbye. It's not a goodbye as in he's not been playing well. He has been such a good player for us, but we've got to move him on right now. He goes to the Saudi League for 9 million, so nearly recovered the cost of him as well, and he has enjoyed a great season. Now, this guy right here might go down as one of my favourite unorthodox, unused players. I'd never give him the time of day usually, but there was something about him in this tactic. He done such a good job. The first signing is going to be another new gen and another centre-back for a total of £39 million. He comes in and actually gets a lot of first-team football, drops a 7 average rating, and for a player who, let's just be honest, is still quite young, 23 years of age, this guy looks remarkable. 16 acceleration, 16 pace, great decisions, great bravery on the lad as well. The tackling's there, and he has still got so much area to improve. Like I said, he's 23. He can also play left back, and for that price tag, I'll pay it time and time again. And to finish that window off, a grand total we spent of 53 million is going to be a player costing me 13.7 coming in. That is going to be Jan, who is going to be another striker option who he done ridiculous. 20 goals in his first season in England, let alone any level of England, the Premier League, drops above a 7 average rating, and the guy has just come in. He was a backup and he shoved that aside like Hickey done. When I brought Hickey in, a backup player, no Josh, I'm first team. He has done exactly the same. So, do you know what? Unexpected, but a good unexpected thing. We've also got a load of players out on loan. All of these players down here are players that I want out of the club. They won't leave, so they get loaned again. But everything we're doing this rebuild, it just seems to work. And we are going to win the Super Cup again in back-to-back years, this time a 1-0 win over Lazio. The Community Shield's getting a little bit boring now, as we are going to win it so many times back-to-back. This time, I tell you what, against Man City, and that scoreline is pretty embarrassing for them. Who do they get in charge? They still have not got a manager, or they would have had a manager and he's been sacked. What are they doing? The FA Cup, we nearly do go on to win again, but this time United a little bit too strong on the day. So the Champions League, we are not going to win it. I mean, we can't complain. We've won it so many times already. It's nice to hand it over to somebody else, but no, jokes aside, it would have been nice to keep the streak going, but I can't be too angry, can I? We've already hit the goal that I set at the video, and do you know what? It wasn't a bad game. It was a close game against Barca. It would have been a very tough final anyway. We do win the Premier League though, and this time the first real season where it's done by a lot of points. Really convincing. 92 compared to 83. Samu's going to be in there. The new man Jan is also going to be in the top 4 goal scorers. Restes the second most amount of clean sheets. Noah Darvic and Cunha the most assists. I mean, this team is really, really doing it all, to the point where we even go on to win the Carabao Cup again, 1-0 over Leicester. So a lot less trophies, but the performance does remain the same. A Premier League, a Super Cup, a Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield. It's a quadruple. You can't turn your nose up at a quadruple. We're back to winning the Premier League, and a swings and roundabouts, you know. We've not yet linked in everything all in one picture in terms of winning 100% of the trophies, but we are winning so many, the job is being done. And in terms of the money, we are now back to having, I believe, close to £100 million to spend in the next window. But I mean, honestly, we are the best at scoring, the best at conceding in terms of not conceding a lot of goals. I think the only signings we're going to make now are going to be one of two things. Signings for the very, very, very extended future, for when you carry on the save, Or, unless there's a world-class player like Vinicius Jr. becomes available, who maybe can now play in one of these roles. Apart from that, I'm very happy with the team. We've got people like Darvic with 54 goal contributions. We've got Samu scoring 44 goals. We've got this new man, Jan, who wasn't even expected to be part of the plans right away, with 47 goal contributions. We are signing players who were sort of expected to become good in 2-3 years. I've instantly started clicking. It is incredible. Right then, it is not a nice time because we are going to wave goodbye to Cunha now. This wasn't actually my decision, so I was going to keep him purely just out of respect for the rest of the rebuild because he's been such a good player, but he wanted to leave and he does leave for 15 million. He has been one of our best players to date. He has never failed to drop below a 7 rating. He has been such a good 7.8 in that season. He has been such a key part of this team, and it genuinely is quite sad to see him go, but he is 33, and let's face it, we have got options to cover. For £16 million after the add-ons, we are going to wave goodbye to João Gomez. He played a bit of games here and there, but nothing too out there, to be honest. Not the biggest loss, didn't really take the most advantage out of him, to be honest, but he gets his move. Goodbye to João Gomez. And I have gone crazy. I have gone and got the checkbook out because I am so close to building what, in my opinion, might be the best team I have built. I've decided to go and get Gavi to replace Cunha in that AM role. He cost me 130 million and he has returned a great Premier League season. Don't get me wrong, it's an absurd amount of money to pay, but I'm just sat here looking at this team like I've got a chance to actually build the best team that I have built, especially going forward, and you don't really get much better than Gavi, especially at this part of the game. He is literally perfect. And the same can be said for Baleba, because now we have got a world-class DM. Don't get me wrong, Illich was doing the job, but this is a world-class pre-built man. He comes in for 105 million, drops a 7.35, 4 goals, 4 assists, plays a ton of games, and he has played at Madrid. He has got so much experience, and honestly, these are the sort of players that might make me that team that can win 6 out of 6 trophies, 7 out of 7. These can be the players. This guy mentally is ridiculous, physically ridiculous, and even has got the passing, the tackling. He is just this sums it up, a world-class, legendary midfielder. That is what he is. Should come to no surprise, we are going to win the Premier League again, because when you've got these sorts of players, that is what you can expect. Now, Noah Darvic is actually your only top goal scorer in the top 4, which is quite interesting. I hope that it was an injury for Samu and not a rapid decline in performance. Musiala and Samu are in the average rating though. Restes sits in 3rd, Musiala and Gavi, them 2 names. That should be illegal for them to be on the same team. That it might be breaking some sort of rule. We are going to win the Community Shield again 1-0 over Manchester United, meaning that is now 4 times in 5 years. The Carabao Cup, we are going to win again 4-0 over Crystal Palace. We look at the past winners, we have now won that trophy a grand total of 5 times. The FA Cup, we're going to beat Liverpool 7-0 in the final. 7-0 in the final. And that means we have won that trophy now a grand total of 4 times. These English trophies have become a little bit too easy. Back where we belong in that Champions League in the final against Barcelona. 1 goal is going to decide this game, and it is going to come in. Gavi ball in and the new man Jan. 2 new players, the big impact. And that is going to wrap up a perfect season. We got the chance to play in 5 competitions. We have won the Premier League. We've won the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield. A perfect 5 out of 5. And we've still got another season to try and replicate it or somehow even improve. That is a ridiculous season, and this team now will go down in my personal books as probably the best I have built, because we have got such a good 11 and also such a good bench, which I think we are almost forgetting about. These bench players like Vega, I've not mentioned his name in quite some time. He is still a big impact. The likes of Kakao, a player that we signed a few seasons ago, is still a big impact. These players we can't forget about, and just looking at this team, if we actually look from downwards here, 16 and 21 from Gavi, Darvic 43 and 23, Musiala 25 and 19, Samu 34 and 16, Jan 20 and 13. The wingback's doing great as well. There is not a weak link in this team now. Baleba, 18 goal contributions. There is not a weak link in this entire team, and it is honestly going to be hard to decide where we go and spend this last bit of budget. £84 million, the debts and loans are still there, so maybe I won't go and spend any money at all. I might just leave it because we've just done what we have done. It's going to take something special, I think, for me to go and spend money. But honestly, a perfect season, the 5 out of 5 sweep, positive. Right, well, I wasn't going to sign any players, but if you watch my content, you know I can't refuse a new gen. I like signing new gens, and this one cost me a lot. He cost me 78 million, and he's played 9 games. Now, this doesn't mean he's a bad player. It means that we have already got so many centre-backs. Some of them are getting older now, so this is a signing for you guys, really, because those that carry on this file from the Patreon, this is going to be a good signing for the future. So I've got you covered in that regard, and also, I spent another 36 million helping you out again by bringing in another attacking midfield player coming in from the Portuguese league for £30 million. This guy did actually play a fair few games and done relatively well. These are 2 signings for your future, basically, and yes, it was quite an expensive window, but I think you might now have a team where you don't have to sign players for, I want to say, about 4 years. I think you're more than covered. And we are going to sign out in style in the Premier League by winning it again, meaning we have won the Premier League a total of 5 times. Half the seasons we've played, which I am more than happy with because I set a goal of 2, so that is a real big improvement. Finally, our goalkeeper picks up the most clean sheets, Noah Darvic the most assists, and the second most goals. He might be this player of the season. What a signing he was. A serious signing who is still now only 26. Samu right back into the goals as well. And the league was quite close. Liverpool do finish in second with Niko Kovac being in there as their manager. Very interesting, but I'll take it. Also going to win the Super Cup again, meaning that is now going to be another time we have won it. I believe now 4 times, this time against Lazio. We finally fall in the Community Shield, and again against Tottenham. They're the only team that can beat us in that one. A disappointing exit to the FA Cup considering how good we've been in this competition. We do actually fail against Everton in the 4th round, but considering the amount of times we have won it, I'm not going to sit here and complain. And a bit of revenge from Liverpool in the Carabao Cup as we do fall 4-0. But a chance to win another Champions League final, and this time against Atletico Madrid. A great free kick there from Noah Darvic, probably our best attacking midfield player to date at the moment, and also a great ball in. We are now 2-0 up inside of 16 minutes. A great start, and I tell you what, Darvic again, that is now I believe a goal, a penalty, and also an assist in 34 minutes. Really taken over this final to go 3-0 up. Into Baleba, who of course one of our more expensive signings. I mean, that is a great finish as well. A 4-0 lead just after 45 minutes played. They do go on to get a goal, to be fair to them, but I'm not going to sugarcoat this final. This was their only positive of the entire game, was that one goal. Nothing else they done meant anything because we even have time to go and grab a 5th goal. Baleba, great drive there, finds him into Darvic. That is incredible. Into Samu. Is he going to go alone? He's not. He's going to square it into his striker partner, Jan. And that completes our final and 10th season. Premier League winners, Super Cup winners, and I believe that is it for this season. And Champions League winners, let's not forget that. The Champions League has been remarkable. Past winners, we have won it 4 times. 4 times we have won the Champions League. That is absolutely incredible. The team is now a perfect 5 out of 5 star, and the arrow can't go any more up. We have literally got the lines all the way up. So many more trophies, and I mean so many more trophies in this club. And as for the team, yeah, the team I don't even need to talk about because you know how good it is, I know how good it is. It's a remarkable team, and if you do want to carry on this rebuild and also get the tactic and all of these wonderful perks, you can come over and check out the Patreon in the link below, where you've got 20% off and access to a ton of exclusive content. And this might be a very fun one for you to do because I know I'm going to carry on. And let me know what you think of these longer rebuilds, the 10 season jobs. It's quite fun, I think, because you can actually build a club from, well, where they are now to this stage, which is, what do you even call this stage? European dominators? I mean, we have got some ridiculously valued players, some ridiculous ability players. We've got everything. That is Wolves very well rebuilt. I'll see you in the next one.